So I'm here with my mentor, Dr. David Aveline, and he's going to tell a story about coming out in 1975. What was that like?
Coming out in 1975. Wow. That goes back a long time. I was 26, 24 years old, and I had known that I was gay since I was 13, 14, 15, but I think when I was 14 I resigned myself to save up enough money to go to a psychiatrist and get cured or something. That was my secret goal, so I would stack away money for my paper route or whatever. But anyway, I had a very negative view of gay men because that was all that was told to me. Oh, he's gay, he's horrible, he's queer, he's a homosexual, etc. So, I was very, very scared to admit it. But then I decided one day, I was in Ottawa, and I was actually almost homeless. I was unemployed, and I had like $40 in my pocket, and I was staying at a very cheap room for about $10 a week at the time. But I was walking in the streets, and I saw a sign in Ottawa, and it said, "Gay lesbian dance this Saturday, 7 o'clock." And I thought, okay, I'm going to go. I was 24 years old at the time, and I was going to go. And I went in, and it's just amazing what I thought. I paid for my ticket. The man behind the counter smiled at me, and my first thought was, he thinks I'm gay. Yeah, which of course, I'm going to a gay dance, right? So, but he thinks I'm gay. So I went in, I sat in a corner somewhere, and I just marveled at all of these people, and they were, presumably all gay and lesbian. A few were trans, and they were just happy, and they were having a good time, and they were dancing. Of course, I didn't talk to anybody, and nobody talked to me. Maybe it was my body language or something like that. But that was the first time. And then back in Montreal, then I was working and on my feet again, and somebody took me to a bar, and the rest is history. I can remember the songs that were singing in that bar. One was "Fly, Robin, Fly, Fly, Robin, Fly, up to the sky," and then men were dancing with men and this sort of thing. What was the other one? Best disco in town, funky music's all around. And from there, I actually met this Jewish guy at Androgyny Bookstore, and he invited me to a Jewish group. I'm not Jewish, but he invited me there anyway. So, but it was a wonderful group. It was called Nachas, which means good luck in Yiddish. And every week you met at a different member's homes, and of course, they quite well-to-do older gay men. So there were these wonderful homes in Montreal. And there were maybe 40 of us, and from there I made these wonderful friends, and the rest is history. And I guess that's my coming out story. It was gradual. Eventually my heterosexual friends I was hanging out with disappeared. I don't know whether they left me or I left them, one of the two, And my friends were all gay men at one point. I was quite ghettoized. And then basically, then we branched out, kind of thing. Yeah, so that's my coming out story.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So that bookstore, is that where you got this book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I went in. The Jewish guy's name. His name is Harvey. He became quite an activist at the time. He died about 4 years ago. I remember. I'm at the age now where you look for obituaries of people you used to know, right? Particularly if they were older than you. He was a year older, but I went in there, and you would pay 10 cents for a cup of coffee, and you would have conversations about gay life and politics and everything, and maybe buy a magazine. But I came across this book here, and it was like $4, and that was like astronomically expensive back in those days. But I bought it, and it's almost coming apart here. It actually is coming apart. But I think I leafed through it about 100 times. I stared at all of the pictures, no matter who they were, because I was just marveled that these people were like me. They were gay, they were unashamed, they were good looking, and I thought, my God, this is just amazing. And it opened up an entire new world for me. And of course, the rhetoric here was, there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's something wrong with society that does not accept it. That is, that was that influential book, the Gay Liberation book, as it is called. I think it was published in 1974, which is what, 50 years ago? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it's getting a little bit yellow at this time.
Is there any particular stories or anything you remember from this book that you really latched onto?
I think there was a teenager who was the story about a teenage boy, and he was open, and he said, "I want to meet another man," and all the parents were aghast. We can't. They said, "What's wrong with you? I just want somebody to love me," or something of that nature. But I thought it was pretty cool. That he stood his ground. There was a lot of radicalism back in those days as well. I can remember a magazine, and we don't have it in the archives, unfortunately. It's called Gay Sunshine. And actually, I do have a copy of an essay that came out of Gay Sunshine, and it's called "Ass Fucking as an Act of Revolution."
Yeah, I've read that.
Oh, you came across it?
Yeah,
exactly.
I did come across it.
Exactly. And that and if you think about that, every time you slept with a man, you slept with somebody of the same sex back in 1975, 76. You thought you were like scoring one for for the change that's about to come in the world. So I mean, it was a political act.
Yeah, for sure.
An act of revolution, as it were. So,
yeah.
But it was a day of fun. It was a day of indulgence. It was a hell of a time to be alive in the 60s. Disco is now, plays at weddings, and people, they play YMCA and everything. But back then, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of the Village People, push, push in the bush, join the Navy where you can meet your fellow man, YMCA, etc. These were songs of gay masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Village People were all the stereotypes: the construction worker, the army guy, the politically correct indigenous guy, kind of thing. It was really Puerto Rican. But these were all macho stereotypes,
mm-hmm.
and for the longest time, gay men have been thought of as pansies and powder puffs and queens and whatever. But the fact that this is a newfound form of masculinity
mm-hmm.
that has nothing to do with women, nothing to do with conquest of women or anything like this. It's basically you can be masculine and you can be gay at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You can also be masculine and it doesn't matter whether you're a top or a bottom either.
Yeah.
That gender dichotomy that's superimposed upon gay men who are either tops or bottoms or sides or whatever. I mean, we rejected that very, very early.
Yeah.
The bottom is supposed to be the one doing the dishes, and the top takes out the garbage.
So you recently sent me obituary from a pivotal person in your life and coming out. Can you tell me about him?
Yeah, that was Bruce Garside. I think he was 83. I just came across his obituary. He died last month. He in 1971, 72. I mentioned this. I mentioned it to you before, but not to you. I was 21 years old, and I was going to Dawson College in Montreal, and I saw a sign again: gay man and lesbian speaking at room such and such. So it was a big room. And I came in, and there were like 30, 40 people. They were all sitting on the floor cross-legged, as we did in the early 70s. That was cool. Everybody was smoking, as we did in the early 70s. That was also cool. They were there in the center and they were speaking. And Bruce was a tall man with a beard, former professor of philosophy. He was probably 34 at that point. 32. I'm not sure, but he basically said that he was a gay man, and I was, inside I was sort of like thinking, holy shit, you just said that in front of 40 people. Wow. It's the first time I've ever seen anybody actually say that, let alone saying it in public. And so it sort of got me to thinking that, maybe there's nothing wrong with being gay. Maybe there's something wrong with society. But he was, I eventually made friends with him, and I saw him on and off. Throughout the years, but he was a highly intelligent, highly caring man, and I think he was the very first man that I saw who was open and out. And in '72, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then there was I forgot her name, but she was an open lesbian as well. That I found that as amazing as
Right now.
too.
Unless there's anything you want to add.
Well, that's okay. It's just a fun time back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I was young, and I was like, anyway. Never mind.
You can tell me off screen.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Yes.